Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into how one of manufacturing's most, structured and battle-tested improvement cycles, Lean Six Sigma's DMAIC, is trying to survive the sheer force of data from Industry 4.0.
It really is a clash of titans. I mean, the DMAIC, cycle, define, measure, analyze, improve, control, it's the absolute core of Lean Six Sigma. For decades, it's been incredibly effective.
But it was built for a different world.
Exactly. It relies on people, process professionals, gathering data by hand, working with smaller, manageable sets.
But now, you walk into a factory and it's just saturated with IoT sensors, real-time feedback, cyber-physical systems, all generating terabytes of data.
Every single day.
Those traditional LSS statistical tools, they were designed for small samples. They're just completely overwhelmed. It's a methodology facing a kind of existential crisis.
It is. If LSS doesn't evolve, it just becomes this beautiful, structured method that can't keep up with reality. And the solution is what we're talking about today, DMAI 4.0.
The next generation.
It's a full integration of that classic framework with modern I 4.0 technologies. And our deep dive is based on a fantastic action research study that put this into practice. They introduced two brand new AI-enhanced tools, MSA 4.0 for measurement analysis and Poka Yoke 4.0 for error prevention.
And this wasn't some theoretical exercise in a lab. This happened on the factory floor of a large German manufacturing company. And the results? Well, that's why we're talking about it.
Absolutely.
This single application led to an 86% reduction in defective weld area. That's not a small tweak. That's a paradigm shift.
It really proves that this conceptual framework can deliver massive, measurable value.
So let's ground ourselves in the framework. We're assuming the basics of Lean Six Sigma, that mix of Lean's efficiency and Six Sigma's defect reduction. DMAIC is that rigid, 5-step problem-solving guide. But let's spend a minute on why the 4.0 is so necessary.
Well, the necessity really comes from the limits of the old way. When you're relying on subjective observations or manual time studies and very limited sample sizes, the whole process is just resource intensive. It's slow.
And that's where things like big data analytics, IoT, machine learning, and process mining come in?
They're the antidote. They offer the scale and the dynamism that was missing.
Okay, so let's walk through how this new technology actually plugs into each step of the DMAIC cycle and transforms it.
Sure. Starting with define, I 4.0 lets you use things like text mining to just scour huge amounts of customer feedback or service logs. It helps you identify what customers really need or where process bottlenecks are, way more objectively than old school methods.
Okay, then you get to the measure phase. This seems like the most obvious upgrade.
It's the simplest, yeah. You have IoT sensors and smart devices that just automate all the data collection and visualization. So instead of a person spending weeks with a clipboard,
which still happens.
It does. Instead of that, the data is just there. It's aggregated and visualized in real time. It's an instant accelerator.
And that fire hose of data feeds right into a totally transformed analyze phase.
And this is where it gets really interesting. This is where advanced machine learning tools, things like artificial neural networks, predictive analytics, they step in. They don't just help analyze the data. They often completely replace traditional root cause analysis because they can spot these complex, nonlinear relationships a human might just never see.
Which leads right into improving control. Because if you can predict a problem,
you can fix it before it happens. And you can use those same models to monitor the process in real time and make sure the gains you made actually stick.
Now, there's a crucial detail in this study. It's something you should probably bookmark if you're looking to apply this yourself. It's their integration strategy.
Yes. They realize that LSS practitioners and data scientists, well, they speak different languages. They have different priorities.
Right.
So to bridge that gap, they formally merged the DMAI methodology with another model called CRISP-DM.
CRISP-DM, what's that?
It stands for the Cross-Industry Standard Process for Data Mining. And the reason you merge them is because data scientists need a structured way to handle all the data prep, the modeling, the evaluation, all the stuff DMAIC practitioners might overlook.
So DMAIC provides the business problem and the structure.
And CRISP-DM provides the rigor for handling massive data sets and building robust machine learning models. It's like a dual operating system that ensures data quality and analytical depth, which was absolutely vital for the kind of scale this German manufacturer was facing.
Let's get into that specific case. The company is Prodco. Their big headache was overtime.
A lot of it. An average of 2.3% of total labor, but it was spiking up to 9% sometimes.
Yeah.
all of it just to repair weld defects,
Yeah.
specifically in the lower weld bead, which are really tricky to spot and even trickier to fix. Their goal was pretty clear: cut that repair effort by over 40%.
So in that initial measure phase, they hit a wall.
A big one. They realized their traditional metrics, things like overall overtime hours, were totally useless for finding a root cause. The numbers were all over the place, but you couldn't trace them back to specific inputs like welding temperature or wire speed, or even tiny changes in how the welder was positioned.
They were looking at the consequence, not the cause.
Exactly. They had to make a paradigm shift, move away from measuring after-the-fact output and start looking at proactive, real-time machine data inputs. And when they did that, the sheer volume became the new problem.
Remind us of the data volume.
Okay, so from just 13 welding machines, they were generating 33 unique data points every single second.
That's incredible.
Over the measurement period, they ended up with nearly 29 million data points, and that was just for looking at welding current and voltage. You can't just drop that into a spreadsheet.
No. And this is where the core failure of traditional statistics really comes into play. It's a huge insight for anyone dealing with big data. The classic tool for data quality in LSS is measurement system analysis, or MSA.
Right. MSA is vital. You have to know if your ruler is accurate before you start measuring anything. You use statistical tests like ANOMEVA to see if there's significant variability in your measurement system. The goal is a low-gauge repeatability and reproducibility, or pre-Z-GRR.
But with 29 million data points, the map it falls apart.
It breaks, and here's why. Statistical significance is measured by the p-value. With samples this massive, millions of data points, even the tiniest, most irrelevant little flutter in the data will drive that p-value towards zero.
So everything looks statistically significant.
Everything, which makes the test completely useless for figuring out if your measurement system is actually reliable. The very tool designed to validate the data is invalidated by the amount of data.
It's a paradox.
It is. And that's not even mentioning the computational time. Just running those conventional tests on this data set would have taken a standard PC more than 9 days.
9 days for a meaningless answer.
Exactly. It's too slow, and it doesn't even tell you what you need to know.
And that failure is what created the need for MSA 4.0, this new machine learning method that gets around the p-value problem.
Right. So instead of running a significance test, they reframed the problem as a predictive challenge. They used something called an extra trees regressor.
Okay, break that down for us.
It's a machine learning ensemble method. The easiest way to think about it is this. If you ask one expert to predict something, they might have biases. But if you get 1,000 diverse experts, those are the trees, and you average their decisions, you get a really robust prediction, and you get it fast.
And the model's job, what was it predicting?
Its job was simple. Based on the time series data from the machine, predict the very next value. If the measurement system is reliable, the prediction should be incredibly close to the actual value that comes next.
So they completely changed the question. They stopped asking, is this difference statistically significant? And started asking, how much error is in our prediction?
That's the leap. That's the move to the new metric.
Yeah.
Mean absolute percentage error, or MAP.
Practical significance.
Exactly. MAPE gives you a simple percentage that tells you how far off your prediction was from reality. It's a measure of forecasting accuracy, which, is far more useful for running a factory than an abstract p-value.
And the result. What did the MAPE score tell them about their data?
The validation across all 13 machines was remarkably consistent. The average MAPE was only about 2.5%.
And for context.
For context, in industrial forecasting, anything under 10% is generally considered highly accurate. So 2.5% is fantastic. MSA 4.0 proved their 29 million data points were reliable, trustworthy inputs for the next phase.
Okay, so with that data foundation solid, let's move into the analyze and improve phases with this idea of Poka Yoke 4.0.
Yeah.
First, remind us what traditional Poka Yoke is.
Traditional Poka Yoke is just a Japanese term for mistake-proofing, or sometimes fool-saving. It's a physical mechanism designed to prevent an error. Think about a USB plug that only fits one way, or a guard on a machine that has to be closed for it to run.
Simple physical checks. But Poka Yoke 4.0 is predictive. It changes the entire game.
It completely flips the script. It shifts quality management from being reactive, catching an error after it's happened, to being proactive, to predicting an error in real time before it even exists.
So the study identified that late error detection was the #1 root cause. The old way was the welder finishes a long weld, and only then does someone spot a complex defect deep inside, requiring a ton of expensive repair work.
Right. So the redesign process stuck an AI forecast step right into the middle of the welding workflow. This meant defects could be detected and corrected during the weld, which just completely eliminates that wasteful post-weld inspection.
That requires some serious speed and accuracy from the AI. How did they actually make that prediction happen on the shop floor?
They developed a special kind of deep neural network model. The key part is that it included something called LSTM layers, long short-term memory. Think of it as the AI model's memory. Welding is a time-sensitive process, right? The quality of the weld now depends heavily on the voltage fluctuations from a half second ago. LSTM gives the model that context, which allows it to forecast errors about 1 to 1.5 seconds before they happen.
And the beauty of this solution is how simple the feedback was.
Yeah.
You have this incredibly complex AI running, but the output for the welder had to be dead simple.
It had to be. So the welders used helmets that were fitted with a little microcontroller and an integrated LED lamp. No dashboard, no numbers to read.
Just a red light.
Just a red light. When that light came on, it was the signal that an error was about to happen.
And the corrective action was just as simple.
Yeah.
Stop welding, grind out that tiny area where the AI predicted a problem, and then just resume welding.
That's it. That instant real-time feedback prevents the defect from ever becoming a defect. It's the ultimate mistake-proofing system.
So let's get to the payoff. What were the final numbers?
When they ran the Poka Yoke 4.0 solution in a controlled demonstration, the defective weld area dropped by approximately 86%.
Wow.
And not only that, the total number of individual defects went down by about 84%. And based on that, the company projects a full return on their investment in just 2 years. It's the ultimate proof of concept for DMAIC 4.0.
That brings us to the final phase, control and deployment. They're planning to roll this out to 150 welding machines. Getting an 86% reduction is amazing, but sustaining it is the real challenge.
It is. And sustaining those gains depends entirely on something called the MLOps framework machine learning operations.
So a system to manage the system.
Exactly. You build a sophisticated model, you need a sophisticated pipeline to manage and monitor it. Key activities are continuous, real-time monitoring of the model's performance. Is its accuracy dropping? Is there data drift because something in the process has changed? What's the model's confidence in its own predictions?
So what's the kill switch? What happens if the AI starts getting it wrong?
They set a minimum confidence level for any prediction at 90%. If the model's confidence drops below that threshold, counteractions are automatically triggered. It could be stopping the solution entirely, sending an error report, or, and this is critical, verifying the sensor functionality.
Which could mean running a whole new MSA 4.0 study.
It could. To make sure the input data is still good, it creates this full circle feedback loop. MSA 4.0 validates the data, Poka Yoke 4.0 acts on it, and MLOps controls the whole thing.
The study didn't just solve one company's problem, it sort of established a new playbook.
It really did. It formalized a new typology for quality management, calling it real-time, AI-driven quality control. It's this perfect combination of proactive measurement from MSA 4.0 and predictive mistake proofing from Poka Yoke 4.0. This is pretty much the optimal state of quality management in Industry 4.0.
And for you listening, if you're not in the welding business, the big question is transferability. Is this just for welding?
Not at all. The underlying method, especially MSA 4.0, is highly transferable. That same machine learning model used to predict voltage reliability in a welder can be easily adapted to validate sensor data from almost any other machine. Electric motors, cooling systems, hydraulic pressure. It's a method for validating any large, high-frequency time series data stream.
But, and this is such a key point, despite all the focus on AI and machine learning, the human element is still indispensable here.
Oh, absolutely. We haven't replaced the process professional. Traditional DMAIC tools like FMEA and just basic process modeling were still essential for putting the data in context. The AI tells you what is happening and when an error is likely, but you still need human experts for the root cause analysis, for designing the physical feedback, the red light, and for getting buy-in from the welders with good training.
The tech augments the process, it doesn't replace judgment.
That's it exactly.
So to summarize this entire deep dive, DMAIC 4.0 successfully operationalizes this convergence of Lean Six Sigma and Industry 4.0. It moves quality management from a reactive, after-the-fact inspection to a proactive, predictive intervention, using these groundbreaking tools like MSA 4.0 and Poka Yoke 4.0.
And that 86% reduction is the proof. It shows you that this framework is flexible and transferable. It offers a clear path for organizations of pretty much any sector to get huge quality gains and serious cost reductions.
So if we leave you with one final provocative thought, let it be this. This deep dive showed us that when you're faced with the immense scale of big data, the traditional statistical methods, they just falter. They force us to abandon our reliance on the p-value.
Which means the critical question for any informed decision maker has to shift. It's no longer just, is this difference statistically significant? The real question now is this difference large enough to be practically significant and worth acting on? And what that really means moving forward is that process improvement professionals have to prioritize the ability to predict outcomes over the ability to simply explain them after they've already happened, something for you to mull over.